You're listening to the New Artist Workshop.
When you wish upon a star.
Well, actually, what we say is, someday you'll find it the Rainbow Connection.
Uh-oh, they're starting to argue philosophy.
Hello and welcome back to your favorite podcast. Now, that's what I call a franchise. I'm Peter Mancuso.
And I'm Viviana Metzger, and this is a show where Peter and I pick a film franchise and go through every single installment. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
And to be clear, we're defining a franchise as a series of films with at least 4 entries. So, Viviana, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about the 1990 film The Muppets at Walt Disney World. And this is your one and only spoiler warning, so if you haven't watched the movie, go do that before listening to this episode.
I do have an interjection, but it actually has to do, it's actually a segue. This is arguably the worst Letterboxd blurb I've ever read.
Okay.
Because I did it. So, for starters, the first sentence is wrong.
Okay.
It says, filmed right after the merger between Disney and Jim Henson Productions. It was during the negotiations for the merger that never ended up happening. Number one.
Do you want to say this stuff after?
No, I just want to say that first part.
Okay.
But there's also typos, like California instead of California.
Oh.
And also, it's supposed to be Walt Disney World in Florida, but it says California. It says the Muppets, but Muppet apostrophe S. And it's also, it literally just goes through the entire plot. It's like one of the longest letterbox. I don't know who wrote this, but I think I was. This is like our 100.
Can you change it?
If I wanted to, I could go on
Like,
TMDB and update
Wikipedia
it.
or
I think
something?
so. But maybe, is that a public service we should do, is update the letterbox blurb?
I think so.
But this is, counting bonus episodes, this is our 131st episode.
Wow.
This is the first letterbox blurb where I read it and went, should we just not even read this? But I figured, just for the laughs...
We have had some bad ones.
No,
though.
but this is... It has incorrect info, it's typos, it's long as shit, it just says the whole... It's not a blurb, it's the synopsis! But I figured, you know what, for the laughs, why don't you read it for us?
Should I read it correctly?
No, read it exactly as it's written.
Okay. Oh my god.
Like, so if there's typos, explain what the typo is. So, like, it says, at some point, Kermit says they'll, but it says THE''LL. So, fell?
Okay, hold on.
Anyway.
I don't even know what you're looking
So
at.
just start from the beginning.
Filmed right after the merger between Disney and Jim Henson Productions, the Muppets, possessive, are featured heading to the greatest place on Earth, Walt Disney World. Kermit and Robin take the gang to the swamp for a vacation in California.
Which is both a typo and that is not where Walt Disney World is.
It is the annual bug fry, and it's a journey to the roots again for Kermit and Robin. However, the rest of the cast is less than excited about being in a stinking bog.
It's not helping that you're not reading it. It's not helping.
I'm sorry.
either.
I'm trying to watch out for these things you're talking about. Anyway, sorry. However, the rest of the cast is less than excited about being in a stinking bog. When it is mentioned that they can see the fireworks from Disney, everyone is excited and wants to go to the park instead of being at the bug fry. Kermit says they'll take a short peek and be right back. As the Muppets accidentally break into the park, security tries to round them all up as they visit all of the parks. Separate sentence.
Yeah, no colon or hyphen.
Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Disney/MGM. Finally, after being round back up, they get a chance to meet the one and only Mickey Mouse and show a huge musical number at the end.
This reads like a book report written by like a third grader who this is his third year being in the third grade.
Oh my god.
This is preposterous. If you're listening, if you wrote this, shame on you. that you would write something like this and think this is acceptable to put out into the world for other people to read this. Again, 131 episodes. The first one where I went, should we just skip it? Should I rewrite it?
Did they not know where? I mean, I guess they've seen it.
No. Okay.
Because there's like all the information, but do they not know where Walt Disney World is? Or maybe the difference between Disneyland and Disney World?
You know how ChatGPT is getting like better every day? Like the more people use it and put stuff into it, the better it is at like coming up with responses. This feels like the first ChatGPT output. Where it's like it's just this is just pure hallucination. So like it's like the test case. It's just spitting out words that seem right. Like it's like going through like using synopses of the show online to try to like fill in the blanks. But
I just think they're not very familiar with proper grammar and also
where Disney World is.
Storytelling. In terms of kind of bringing it I like that they put some of their own little read on it,
But that's not what you should do for a blurb. He's like, however, they don't want to be in a stinking blog.
They don't want to be in a stinking blog.
Sorry, anonymous writer, you're editorializing. This is supposed to be a blurb.
It's a journey to the roots again for Kermit and Robin.
I'm sorry, some poor like adult autistic person wrote this, and they're like really gonna be really upset about this.
Don't say.
I say that with all sincerity. I'm not saying it as a
autistic. If they're autistic, they probably write it properly.
I'm not saying this as a knock. I'm saying like there's someone who wrote this probably like who was really like it was someone who just like should not have been writing it, but like was like wanted to write it.
Musical number at the end.
I don't remember a big musical number at the end.
Is it really? I
guess there is a number.
Why is the list of parks
a separate sentence?
Like its own sentence.
There should have been a colon, and then it listed.
And then
Disney.
Why is Disney/MGM?
Because that's what it was called, Disney/MGM Studios, I believe.
Is it? I thought it. Okay.
Well, let's see what the official.
The park was called Disney/MGM.
Let's see the official name. So it used to be called Disney-MGM Studios theme park. Because again, the whole idea was that it was. Well, I didn't even put this in the background, so I'll just have to kind of go free. I'll have to freeball it. But so Magic Kingdom opens in 1971. It's like it opens with Walt Disney World. Epcot opens, I think, in 82, and then Hollywood Studios, then called Disney MGM Studios, opened in 89. And the concept. We've talked about this on the show, how like all the parks have become
movies, right?
But not just about movies.
Like the history they had, like
not just about movies.
No, okay.
Originally, the idea, because again, today it's hard to imagine this because all the parks become so homogeneous.
It about like lots?
Would you let me tell you?
It was about lots, right? They wanted people to film there.
Yeah, like the whole point is that they opened an animation studio there, so you could like go on a tour. And they would like I think a Goofy movie was animated there. Like it was never like the big projects. It was usually like the secondary projects or assistant work on the bigger projects. But yeah, they also wanted to have it be like an actual functioning backlot, an animation facility.
Which makes sense for the. Didn't they say there was like a New York cityscape? Yeah,
there's a New York backlot, which people could walk around, but sometimes they would close it down and actually use it. I think that I forget. It was not used a lot, which is why they stopped doing it. But I believe like a Bette Midler film, they filmed some New York exteriors there. But also it opened with a partnership from MGM, which still existed.
Yeah.
Back then, which doesn't really quite exist. It still exists, but now it's like an Amazon MGM Studios. But it really doesn't exist truly anymore, where it used to be like one of the major studios, like Paramount and Universal, and now it's like this Frankenstein or like zombie kind of thing. But originally the partnership was with MGM, so the Great Movie Ride, which was like the central ride in the Chinese theater, but now it's a Mickey ride, which is a great attraction.
Yes.
Nothing to do, like, why is it in this?
It's a great ride, except for that one part when you're doing, like, the Zumba class or something with Daisy, because it, like, jerks you around. It's a kind of...
Yeah.
It kind of made my stomach a little upset.
A little.
But the rest of it was really
great
cool.
attraction, but I think they were just like, we want to replace the Great Movie Ride with something branded, but we don't want to tear down the thing, so we'll just use the facade. So at that point, it's like, I would almost rather you just tear it down and build like a new exterior.
No, they gotta keep the Chinese theater.
But the point was that you went to the Chinese theater and went through the Great Movie Ride and see a bunch of like scenes from different movies.
Why did they take that down?
Because it wasn't branded. At this point, Disney Parks is all about the synergy, whereas back then it was just about a cool attraction. So, because again, all the
I think that is a great idea. That why you.
Because I haven't even gotten to the point is that the films depicted were MGM movies. Is my point. Is that it was this deal, this licensing deal between MGM.
Okay.
Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Anyhow, that I think it's a cool concept, and that I think they should lean more into that again.
Like having a theme? God forbid.
Well, like
having a theme
Hollywood.
and being consistent about it.
I mean, it's called Hollywood Studios, for God's sake.
Anyway, I was gonna say the name changed
you know.
because the license expired and they decided not to renew it.
Yeah, I don't think it has to
because
be
MGM was no longer like really a thing.
Production or company specific or whatever, but just like the history of music, the different formats that are used, right? You could do like puppetry, animation, just like different things, kind of give a insight into the movie magic or whatever. And like I think that
it was really cool. You should watch like a ride through, which it's like basically just someone filming the experience. I loved it. It was one of those. It's kind of like Carousel.
You went while it was still there.
Yep, I was actually there like a week before they officially closed it or something. So I was able to, or like maybe a couple months before.
Yeah.
I think this was 2016. So yeah, no, it was one of my favorites. It kind of was like the Carousel of Progress, where it's like it's not super impressive anymore, but there's just like a charm to it.
Yeah.
But again, notably, it was all MGM, so that's why you didn't... When they did, like, the horror section, it's really vague. Like, they don't really do a lot for horror, and it's because, like, all, like, the iconic horror movies were Universal. Like, Frankenstein, Dracula, all the, Universal monsters.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's why I think if they could come to some agreement with everyone, then they could just do in movies in general.
Well, because the point now is that the parks don't exist to... just have like interesting attractions.
Yeah.
They're just synergy. So like, I mean, to be fair, even going back to Disneyland, I mean, there was the Dumbo ride. There was, you had characters walking around. But a lot of those attractions were not themed around movies. And then also depending on which park it was, like Epcot specifically was opened and it was considered the boring one because there was almost no Disney property. There was the two sections, the science section and then the World Showcase section. And it really was about education.
Yeah.
But over time, they slowly started introducing more and more...
Make it about Disney films. That's fine, and they have, like, they can put, like, a motion capture, section, right? Like, I feel like they could do a lot of cool things that would, like, interest children and
it just goes completely against the mission now. The mission isn't to do cool things or educate. It's about this can connect to this other thing that we have. It's all about the synergy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they use their own movies, then they can be like, this is how we made blah blah blah. Right? Like, this is how
the closest you still had in Hollywood Studios was the Walt Disney exhibit.
Yeah.
Which I believe they're getting rid of. Remember we went, but we didn't stay for like the movie. We went through and saw like the old. It was like almost like a little Walt Disney museum.
Which there is one in San Francisco.
Which was great. Which was really really great.
As a plug, if you're listening to this and you're interested in learning about Disney, you should go to the one in San Francisco.
Let's pull back because now we're just talking about Disney parks. And this is right. So a little bit of basic info here. This is directed once again by Peter Harris, who was the main credited director on a Muppet Family Christmas, which would imply that there's more than one. Written by Jerry Jewell, produced. It's like the same roster. Produced by Diana Birkenfield and Martin G. Baker. It was on NBC, notably though, right? Because it was primarily a Disney production. Right?
Yeah.
And I'll put in the notes here because a lot of the things have been on ABC. But this was shown on TV as a special, as part of the Magical World of Disney, which was like one of a series of Disney anthology TV programs that go back to the 50s. You would have Disneyland, which was like the name of the program, which basically Walt himself struck a deal with, I think it was ABC or whoever it was, to do a show, and he used the money from it to fund Disneyland. So basically, it was a program that they would show Disney cartoons and some behind-the-scenes stuff, but it would also show, here's what we're working on in Anaheim, right? And then eventually, once he died, they did, the Wonderful World of Disney. So it would just be, a weekly anthology. It might be old Disney cartoons. It might be a behind-the-scenes thing. It might be an original TV, 1-hour movie of some kind. So this
They stopped, right?
I don't think they do that. No,
I've never
I don't think
heard
they
of
do
this
that
before. Yeah.
But so that's why this was on NBC, because it was one of the weekly installments of the Magical World of Disney. So that's why it was on NBC, and this was in May of 1990. And we can just briefly go over. You didn't know about this. I knew about it, but I had never seen it. Again, all I knew, from I think it was from my friend Zachary, who's from Florida, who's super into Disney history and stuff, and had worked there at the parks.
Oh, he's from Florida. Okay.
Yeah, he would work there at the parks. He lived in that area.
Oh, okay.
So in the summers when he was in college, he would work at Disney. Cool. I think his thing for the longest time was Indiana Jones. The ticket, the people at the gate.
Yeah.
I don't think he was the people in the show I
think you have to be qualified to do
No, but you remember there was a guy with the microphone?
Yes.
I don't think he was that guy. I think he was just the guy at the front, when you scanned in or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? But I remember him telling us about this special, and he told us the funny framing device where Kermit brings everyone to his home.
Yeah.
Which just so happens to be next to Disney World, and everyone's like, "Oh, we should go." And he's like, "But guys," right? So that's right. Do you want to hear some background on this? Because I put in here some background, not about the movie, but what was going on with Jim Henson and Disney and everything leading up to this. Because this is, we're getting to the sad part of this season.
Oh.
So, in 1989, Henson entered negotiations with Michael Eisner and the Walt Disney Company. So at this point, Michael Eisner had been CEO since, the mid-'80s. If you're interested, there's a great documentary called Waking Sleeping Beauty, and it's all about the Disney Renaissance. And Michael Eisner was very flawed as a CEO and did a lot of bad things for Disney. But he also did a lot of really great things, his leadership. So... This is that era. If for no other reason, this is peak Michael Eisner doing good.
Peak Michael Eisner.
Right. And so they started negotiations in 1989 in which Disney would acquire Jim Henson Productions and in turn the Muppets. Disney expressed interest in purchasing the company for $150 million. Eisner was also interested in acquiring the Sesame Street Muppet characters, but Henson declined that proposal, considering it a quote-unquote non-starter for the deal. Right? I think we talked about this before because he, wanted those rights to stay with the Children's Television Workshop, later renamed Sesame Workshop, because, he understood that the Muppets are what made the show, financially lucrative, and he understood that the merchandising of that would help fund the the noble ambitions.
Yes,
so he didn't want, I think he, at this point, it was still technically under Jim Henson, but, there was a lot of grace given to Sesame Workshop. Right. So an agreement in principle, quote unquote, for the acquisition was publicly announced by Disney and Henson at Disney MGM Studios theme park in Walt Disney World Resort on August 28th, 1989. The park, I believe, opened in 1989 on May 1st, 1989. So an agreement in principle is basically we worked out the deals, we've announced it, we just haven't signed it. It's not. We just haven't officially done anything.
Okay.
Because we're still working out the kinks, but the general gist of what we're gonna do, here it is.
Yeah.
So they announced this in August of 1989, along with plans for Muppet-themed attractions, plural, to debut at that park and Disneyland the following year.
Oh.
In anticipation of the acquisition, this television special, The Muppets at Walt Disney World, premiered on May 6, 1990, as part of the Magical World of Disney. Right. So this very much was like, made with an eye towards the Muppets are soon to be part of this. Mm-hmm. It's almost like they're coming out part, like their debut, you know, what do they call this out?
Debut.
No, like a debutante ball,
yeah.
right? So, however, the proposed merger was canceled after Henson's death on May 16th, 1990. So this aired 10 days before he died.
Wow.
Nevertheless, Disney initiated a licensing agreement with Jim Henson Productions to continue developing Muppet attractions and the use of the characters within the theme parks. The following year, Muppet Vision 3D debuted at Disney MGM Studios, which is the only attraction successfully developed from the original plans. Because there was an area of the park that was Muppet Courtyard. There was going to be a lot more attractions. Mm-hmm. I think they were going to do a Great Movie Ride spoof. Mm. So it was going to be like you could go to the Great Movie Ride, but then do like a Muppet spoof version, like down the street of it, right? And Muppet Vision was the only thing that ended up happening, and that debuted in 91.
Why couldn't they continue with? There was no one to?
I think just the fervor maybe died down, or because the whole merger fell apart.
Henson's behalf, or like an estate, or
I think maybe they didn't want to do it. Maybe because again, I'm sure we'll talk about it. Like I imagine there was a lot of hand wringing, or even just directionlessness at the Henson Company of like, what do we do going forward? That's why a lot of their 90s output is, even the stuff that's beloved, you can tell it's a company trying to figure out what to do. Mm-hmm. Like, notably, the 3 theatrical movies, like, Kermit's in them. Yeah. They replaced it. Steve Whitmire takes over the role. Mm-hmm. And played the role until, like, a decade ago. Like, maybe 2017 or 8. There was, like, remember I told you there was a big thing where he just got removed as the character for some reason. And it was, like, kind of unclear why. Disney, like, fired him. Oh. For some unclear reason.
Kind of. No.
But I'm saying, so Kermit's in those 3 theatrical movies. Mm-hmm. But notably, he's not the main character, I believe, in any of them. Like, he always takes a back seat. Like, they were afraid to, like, center any of the Jim Henson characters. Because they didn't quite know what to... So that's why it's, like, the protagonist of the Christmas Carol is a human. The protagonist of Muppet Treasure Island, I think, is a human boy. Muppets from Space, it's Gonzo. Like, it's never Kermit is the protagonist of any of these.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Muppet Treasure Island, I can't remember. That's the one I've only seen, like, one time.
Something I could see is that if there were going to be Muppet-themed rides that...
This is all under the assumption they were going to own it.
That there would be an announcer, and that announcer would be Kermit. But if they were unsure about who was
insecure about it, not so much unsure.
Was going to replace him, or how people were going to react or whatnot, I could see them, not wanting to do something where it's like Kermit is like, okay, guys,
the main focus.
We're going to like show you our production or whatever.
I believe it. They figured out who would do it, replace it very quickly.
Yeah,
but the issue with insecure, I think, is the better word. Like, they don't want to like put it front and center.
Yeah, I guess to like...
I think another component of it...
some time for Jim.
Well, I think another component of it was they were going to do all these things under the idea that we were going to own it, the characters. Whereas once the acquisition fell through, then it was like, well, if we're going to do it, we'd have to pay licensing. Like, it would... Like, I think it just ended up not working out for either party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Until
2004. Because again, by that point, the Jim Henson Company kind of threw up its hands and just went, we don't even really know what to do with these characters anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, it was going to be much bigger, and so the only thing that ended up happening was Muppet Vision 3D, which did get a clone for Disneyland.
Oh.
In 2001 for Disney California Adventure, which like is its other, because that California only has 2 parks.
Yeah.
But that was closed, I think, in the 2010s, and then of course the original Muppet Vision just closed recently down. Maybe they'll reopen it in another part of the park somewhere, like they'll kind of build it or make it.
Maybe,
because there's a big area, the Star Wars launch bay, which was specifically created to promote The Force Awakens.
It's like empty, right?
It's like basically empty. I mean, it's like there's some cool memorabilia or like costumes or like artifacts
Yeah,
but it's
there were,
very
drawings and stuff. We like went there to go to the
concept
bathroom.
art. It's very under.
There was like the bathroom and concept art.
When I went to Disney World with my mother in 2016, which of course was still very much in the early Disney Star Wars era, packed. Meet and greets. I'm sure they still do it, but meet and greets with like Chewbacca and Kylo Ren or whoever it is, right? Lots going on, lots of people there, and then when you and I went over, it was like a ghost town. So I feel like that would be a very logical, like, okay, if you really wanted the Monsters Inc. area where Muppet was, like, can you tear down Star Wars Launch Bay and, like, rebuild Muppet Courtyard? But they probably won't, like, because they're like... Because, again, if it's all about synergy, they're like, what do we care about synergy for the Muppets? They're just, like, a thing we own at this point. Like, they really don't bring a lot of value.
Yeah. Well, I think they would do well being neighbors. I mean, Monsters and Muppets, not too far off.
But there's no room to put it next to Monsters. Like,
No.
they took Muppets out because the Muppet... if there was room next to the Monsters, there would also have been room next to the Muppets, and they could just put the Monsters at the Muppets.
Yeah.
So the point of Star Wars Launch Bay is like a complete other area of the park.
Yeah.
It's still in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I feel like I needed to bring this up because this special was very much within the context of, like, again, like I said, like a debutante ball. Like, here we are. Here's the beginning of this partnership.
Yeah.
Right. So what did we think?
I thought it was perfect.
Perfect? Oh my goodness.
It was just like, I feel like it was just like kind of the perfect little application for the Muppets, because I think sometimes extended, like, projects can be either not, like,
What do you mean extended projects?
Like larger, like full length movies or things like that, or shows or whatnot. I think the Muppets are great in little bite sizes. So
Well, it's funny you say that. One of the Muppets' best modern successes, they would sometimes do like these like song parodies on YouTube. They were just like short little clips. The famous one was Bohemian Rhapsody they did. But it's not even a spoof. They're just performing it. Almost like it's like a segment of the Muppet Show, but just like uploaded to YouTube. Yeah. That was the most famous one. So maybe you're kind of putting your finger on something there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, because there are things that are good, right? And I mean, we've been doing this, and we're gonna do even more, right?
We're about halfway, a little more than halfway.
You know, they've been in full length things, but I think that, like, putting them in familiar situations are in short bursts are kind of like it's like the best way to enjoy them and not like kind of get sick of them or like see it. I don't know how to describe it.
I think you're trying to say you don't like the Muppets. I think that's what you're trying to dance around. Just say it.
No.
Just say it.
I like them in bite sizes.
If someone said that to you, like, Vivian, I only like you in bite-sized chunks, would you be like, wow, I feel so great about myself?
Well, you know,
wow, that's great.
I think people have said that, so, you know.
My first note, all it says is Michael Eisner saying Waka Waka.
The first part is so awkward.
Well, because usually these shows would have like a little intro, like these anthology specials. And I will say, Michael Eisner, to his credit, of all the CEOs, I don't know, let's just say leaders, because I don't know what Walt Disney's official title was.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he was technically the CEO. I don't remember. But in terms of like the face of the company,
yeah,
Michael Eisner is probably the most charismatic after Walt Disney. And he would lean into it. Like, he would do a bunch of appearances and, like intros before things. Like, he was always kind of playful or whatever. But, like, it was always kind of awkward.
Yeah.
But awkward, but there was, like, a charm to it. Where sometimes it's awkward because it's, like, you're clearly just, like, don't do that. You're a CEO. Like, you're a business guy. Like, you shouldn't. Like, there was, like, a charming awkwardness to it. But I think he knew that and leaned into it. Like, he knew he wasn't Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is just making me want to go, when we're done, go watch the Waking Sleeping Beauty documentary. It's just so great. It's just a great documentary. But if you're just interested in the topic, it's just really good. Well, it's just really well made, right? But yeah, like God, I forget what he's like. Waka waka. But again, he's aware that he's like a nerd.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So.
Well, and I think that's also something that they kind of play into, and that's an interesting dynamic to see play out, is that, like, the Muppets are a force of nature, and they're, like, chaotic, and, like, coming into Disney and things like that. So that's, like, something they bring up a few times, you know. It's like
interesting merge, because Disney, the parks are so controlled.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole idea, and people have made a lot of socio-political commentaries about Disney, about how it's like, it gives affluent suburban people, like, a feeling of, like, oh, this is what society should be, because it's, like, a very clean, walkable city with no homeless people. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess
like,
so.
ultimately, like, especially, like, Disney, the original Disneyland was very, not actively, but it's very conservative. It's not meant to be like Sesame Street, where it's like a inner city street. Main Street is meant to be like a turn of the century Midwest.
Street,
it's very white. It's very like the guys in the barbershop outfits, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's something very controlled about Disney, even now that it's moved so far away from trying to represent Americana. Because Disneyland originally, again, all the lands were not Disney themed. It was Tomorrowland, Adventureland, Frontier. Like, Walt really wanted to have, like, this historical, cultural expression of what he found interesting about society.
Yeah.
Or history. Or the future.
America, yeah.
Right? Or America. So it's less of a thing now, because everything is so, like, if they could, without getting backlash, they would tear all of it down and be like, here's Mickey Land, here's Princess Land. Like, they would have everything so... I mean, that's why you literally have, like, Toy Story Land.
Yeah.
A whole, like, it was like, that's why it was such a big deal. Like, never had there been a land devoted to just one property. Like, there's a Star Wars land.
Yeah.
There's a Toy Story. Like, that was right now. They're doing a Monsters Inc. Like, except maybe the Muppets was like the first one that was kind of like its own area just for that. But my point is, even when you remove all the Americana and kind of social cultural stuff, it's still very controlled.
Yeah.
And again, that's why so many people love Disney. Well, one of the reasons, because it's a walkable city with no homeless people or like lots of trash.
I guess, but only Main Street's like a city. The rest of it's a theme park.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, the vibes of it.
But I guess so, yeah.
It's just a very controlled environment, so it's funny to see your point about the Muppets are the opposite
thing.
of that.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing. I mean, you hear, like, all these crazy rules and that, you know, the workers have, and, like, you can't be seen in certain places, like the character actors, you can't be seen in certain places, so you have to use, like, the underground tunnels and things like that, and, like, things are, like, very controlled to, like, keep up that facade of, like, whatever land or area you're in.
It's very low entropy, right? Like, the idea is, like, it's something that is constructed that wouldn't naturally exist. Yeah. So it requires constant effort to prop up. Whereas something high entropy is a lot of disorder, so it's just like the natural state. With no energy, so you have to put energy into the system in order for it to have this configuration.
And I think that's why it's kind of cool to see the crossover, because the Muppets are, like, so opposite of that. And I think also maybe another reason, now that we're talking about it, that Disney doesn't really know what to do with the Muppets, because that doesn't fit into the Disney formula. Just in terms of presenting it to people. I suppose so, yeah. And, you know, constructing it in a way that is, you know, palatable and be able to, like, reproduce and things like that. Yeah.
Like, the Muppets are very anarchic. I don't know if what you're saying really applies to, like, the movies, though, but...
I just mean in general, because, I mean, sure, they've made a few movies, but now they're, like, they've shut down Muppet Vision. There's, like, not really a
They haven't made a theatrical movie
presence in the
since
park.
over a decade now.
Over a decade.
When I was a kid,
mean,
when I
like,
went to Disney World in 2003,
you don't really
again, not only was the
see Muppet
Muppet
stuff.
courtyard bigger and the gift shop was open,
Yeah.
they had costumed Muppet characters walking around.
Oh.
Like, you could take a picture with Kermit. I'm sure my mom has a picture of me with a picture with Kermit and Miss Piggy. Mm-hmm. Right? So they leaned into it. Now, I would say it's less about them being anarchic, because the movies, it's not to say the movies are very not anarchic, but they're just not, it's not really the right comparison. What I would say is, the issue, I think, with Disney doesn't know what to do with it, is because, remember, I've talked, and this has kind of been my theme all season, is that, like, maybe it's okay to let the Muppets die. Because, because here's the thing, fandoms are very capitalistic, right? Because there's no fandom for The Godfather. There are people who like The Godfather. There's no people being like, when are we getting the next Godfather?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's an expression. An artistic expression made by a person. A group of people, but like there's authorial intent. Whereas fandoms want to keep the property alive. Keep it going. Because capitalistically, they're not saying because they're not making money off of it, but what I'm saying is, like, because it's a product, you need to keep making product. You want to consume it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's very consumerist. The Muppets were, of course, a franchise. There was lots of installments. But the soul of it was with Jim Henson, or even just to an extent, those other core people. Jerry Jewell. Jerry Nelson was one of the puppeteers. Frank Oz. Now that they're gone, they're it's like necromancy. They're like lifeless. They're husks being animated, not animation, but like brought to life and moving around, but the soul of the person isn't there anymore. Right? Like a necromancer, makes the bodies move, but it's like there's nothing there, or it's like a demon. Like it's like the essence is not there anymore. So I think the issue is that they bought the Muppets hoping they could do with them like they did with Mickey, Donald Duck, Goofy, but what they didn't understand is that the Muppet characters are so intertwined with the souls of the performers. And now that those aren't there, it's just necromancy at a certain point. You know what I mean? So I think that's why they don't know what to do with it, is because they keep trying stuff, but the magic isn't there. And to an extent, my argument is that the magic will never be there. You might create or stumble into new magic, but it's notably, you didn't go back to the old magic. You didn't return to form. You found a new way to have these characters have relevancy and resonance. But let's not be fooled. It's not that, you were finally able to return to what it was. You can't. So that's my argument. Is that I think that's why Disney doesn't know what to do with this, because everything they try isn't really loved, because the magic of what made it work can definitionally never happen again.
Well, I think going back to this, I like to see,
Because this is the last one we're watching with Jim Henson. I believe this was his last production.
You're telling me that Raven and Jim have met?
I guess so.
What?
Raven Simone, a little Raven Simone.
Raven.
Not so Kermit. Not so Piggy.
Oh my god. Yeah, I like to see that little
very cute.
dynamic of
It reminded me of Sesame Street.
The chaos. Oh well, yes, but
Raven.
with the chaos in
Versus
Disney.
the order. Yeah.
Yeah, but then also with Raven. Yes, I love Raven.
Yeah.
Raven Stan.
I don't know if you noticed this, and I really am just reading into it, but I noticed when we were watching, there were like a lot of comments about how important Kermit is. Like they were like when they first come in, like how everyone's lost without Kermit. Like they make comments about that, and even when they're at the gate for the first time, they're like,
it's kind of like Muppets Take Manhattan again.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But it's not like a thematic thing. There's just like comments about it. Like when they go up and Kermit doesn't have any money, they're like, usually Kermit's the one to handle. Like there's a sense. So there was something eerie about it, because in a sense, Kermit will soon be gone. Quote unquote. You know what I mean? The character's still there, but like in a sense, he is going to no longer be with them.
What? They didn't do that on purpose.
No, I know that. I'm just saying it's something. That's why I said it's not intentional. Just something eerie about it.
Yeah.
Like just mention it like, it's like if I had a nickel every time they did it, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird to happen like twice. Like I'm just saying it's, like I noticed like they made comments about it. Like how important Kermit is to their dynamic. And I'm like, that's very eerie. And 10 days later, Kermit is dead.
Crazy.
Right? Because it was May 6th this aired, and then May 16th.
Yeah.
From toxic shock syndrome. Yeah. Very liberal presentation of the layout of Disney World.
Yes. That it's accessible.
Like it's like one giant park rather than like you have to enter each one
they do
each
show
time.
the little trams though, but
No, but you would have to go through the gate every time. So they would have to get through the security guard every time.
Yeah.
When they go to Epcot, Magic Kingdom, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they made it seem like it was all just interconnected, which would be really cool, but it's not. So I was watching. I was like, wait, how the hell did they get to Magic Kingdom?
Should though.
Well, the idea is because they want you to pay.
You pay, yeah.
Or really, you know, if you didn't want to go to all 4, you could kind of do a la carte. You like, I just want to. Like, especially if you live in the area or you're doing a day trip, you could just go to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Disney World, like you can just drive onto Disney World. You can get as far onto the property as the gate.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you like they check your car and be like, do you have tickets? Like
but people like go to dinner and stuff, right? Like they go to either the hotels or
downtown Disney. Or excuse me, Disney Springs. Disney Springs. It used to be called downtown Disney. But yeah, that part is accessible.
That's where that lady died.
That's right. From the allergy. And she told them,
yes,
I guess. And they didn't,
she straight up told them and they did not.
And then they tried to say, oh, you can't sue us because you had Disney Plus, and in the terms, there's terms about saying you can't sue us.
That's right! That's some...
And everyone was like, what?
That's outrageous.
Something else I noticed in this is, I don't know if you, and again, it's like the nickel analogy. Like, I don't know how many times, but it's just like, I know of 2 times.
Yeah.
There was like a thing in the 90s or like 80s of like the sitcom Family Vacation to Disney World.
Okay.
Like Full House would do like a 2-part episode where they go to Disney World.
Did they go to Disney World?
And I think Boy Meets World also did it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that also kind of feels like in that vein where like it is still at the end of the day essentially promotional.
Yeah.
Like, because there'll be parts that I'm like, this has nothing to do with the narrative.
Yeah.
It's just to show off like a cool thing or ride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you even have like Statler, like, I mean, they do it pretty gracefully, but like you have Statler and Waldorf. But obviously you don't want characters complaining about Disney World. Yeah. But they kind of make it into a gag, like, oh, there's nothing to complain about. No, I hate when there's nothing to complain about, right? But still, that's still subliminally meant to, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think also to kind of back up what you were saying about, like, middle America or like, you know, regular families or whatever, like...
Or an idyllic idea of what middle America
there's nothing
is.
to complain about. It's the best place on earth.
It's the happiest place on... That's the tagline, the happiest place on
earth. So, you know...
Right.
It's like, you should come because there's nothing to complain about.
That's what I'm saying. Because, again, it's like, it's meant to be perfect.
Yeah.
Even and that was the thing.
Not my friends.
And, well, that's also not to... Now I'm kind of doing what you're doing, and I'm, like, doing a big tangent. But, like, again, it represented Walt's ethos, right? Because before his death, he was, like, the Florida property was going to be... I think they were going to do, like, a Disneyland East. But the main thing was he wanted to literally redefine, like, what cities were like just, like, actual cities where people live.
Yes, he was very interested in
so that's what
city
Epcot, that's where the
planning.
word Epcot came from. It was going to be the name Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. Or City of Tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at the plans, it was all very conservative. It's very controlled. Like it would be like there would be no homelessness.
Utopian city.
But utopian, but like, you know, like there can't be any homelessness.
For just in general or for the workers?
No, for anyone
for
to
anyone?
move.
Okay.
It would be like this planned city, and it would be very futuristic. But like the idea would be like to live there, you would have to have a job, and it would have to do like you wouldn't be allowed to be homeless in Disney World. Like, it was not a very, like... Because any true urban planner tells you that city planning is about creating the parameters for something organic to arise from it. Whereas Disney wanted to plan every aspect of not just, like, where the streets are, but, like, what the people would do, what the culture would be like.
I thought it was more like transportation centered and like kind of like the ecosystem of it, or at least when looking at his like little diorama.
The point is like he would decide what every building was, where everything was. It wouldn't be like a real city where like life just happens and is organic and it's about people interacting, and that tension creates interesting outcomes, either in terms of building projects or like what kind of stores are there. Like everything would be planned.
Yeah.
So I'm saying you kind of see that reflection in the parks, where again it's like an idyllic, controlled environment, but cities are designed, not controlled, and there's a difference between those two things, right? And similarly, what made the Muppets work is not just like those performers, but the dynamic between the performers.
Yeah.
Like you can't recapture
organic.
The organic. You can't recreate the singular chemistry between Frank Oz and Jim Henson. You can't recreate that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was saying about like the Godfather. Like the Muppets were an expression from specific people. You can't just, they're not just characters like Mickey Mouse that you can just kind of like do whatever you want and have them be intergenerational.
Yeah.
And just have them for like a century. That's just not how they were ever created or conceived or that's never how it operated.
Well, another
like there was never
difference between puppetry and animation. Again, like we were saying.
Exactly. There's I don't believe there was ever a Muppet production before Jim Henson died where Kermit was not played by Jim Henson. Unless it was because there was a scene with multiple characters and he was doing another character in the scene.
Yeah.
Like there was never a thing where it was like, oh, you know what, I don't want to do that project. So I'm gonna like my point is like he was Kermit, is my point.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas Mickey Mouse, like, there would be specific voice actors, but if it's like a certain thing, they might have someone else do it you know what I mean? You can't just like, they're not just costumes that you could just get someone to put on. It is that person. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, it would be like saying, I mean, you could do it, but it'd be like recasting Indiana Jones. Like, you could do it, but like, Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Jim Henson is Kermit. So it's like,
you
can recast it, but something's going to be lost. Something unrecreatable. You can't make it in your Disney labs. You can't do it with your focus groups. You can't. Because that's the thing, is that Disney is not about artistic expressions. It's about making products that will appeal to all four quadrants. Yeah. The Muppets were an expression.
All four quadrants of what?
The four quadrant thing about like age and gender, like say something four quadrant, like one dimension of it is age group.
Gotcha.
Like older or younger, and then the other two is male or female. Very very binary way. But the idea being, if it's a four quadrant film, it's going to appeal to everybody. Yeah. All genders, all ages. It's very reductive because you could say like, well, what about people specifically like 40 to 56? Who live in urban centers. Like, you can get really more granular, but that's just like an old school marketing.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're a marketing master. You know about the four quadrant?
I've never heard anyone...
Maybe it's more of a movie
describe it like that.
So my point is that Disney is not in the business of making making authentic expressions. It's not to say they're not creative. It's not to say the product isn't good. But it's certainly not... For the longest
time, it was just retelling. It wasn't even anything new.
No, but I'm not talking about that, because you can still take a fairy tale, but you're putting your spin on it.
No, yeah,
I'm saying the films are conceived of by producers, and then people are hired to make it. It's not like I want to make something. It's the flow of motivation or inception.
Or at least not anymore, since Walt died. Whereas,
that's what I'm saying.
Whereas I'm sure that happened with Walt.
Exactly.
Like, I want to make this film.
Exactly. Whereas now, I mean, again, I'm really being reductive about it because I'm sure, like, you know...
I think you are.
What I'm saying is I don't think you could say, like, we're not going to get a Best Picture winner from Disney. If we do, we're going to get it from, like, one of its subsidiaries that makes indie films. Like, we're not going to get, like, not Focus Features, 20th Century Studios. Right? Or Searchlight Pictures, right? Which was 20th Century Fox's indie or more art house wing.
Yeah.
So my point is that the way they make the films is just different. So that's why you're not gonna ever have good Muppet content under Disney, just because it's just not, or of the same type, you know. I don't think I have anything else. I liked when Kermit was shooting the gun and he's like, I don't believe in violence.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear some trivia?
Yeah.
That's so trivia. For scenes taking place on the Disney World thrill rides, Dave Goelz, who's usually the puppeteer for Gonzo, puppeteered Miss Piggy instead of Frank Oz, who claimed to have motion sickness. I think he claimed. I think he was just a pussy.
No.
On May 4th, may the 4th be with you, 1990, Jim Henson appeared on the Arsenio Hall show to promote the special with Kermit the Frog. Henson was joined by Kevin Clash performing Clifford. Clifford's like the catfish one.
Clifford. Oh.
Not Clifford the big red dog.
Oh. Okay.
Kevin Clash also ended up being like, he's Elmo.
Oh.
Or he was Elmo, but then he got into trouble because I guess he was talking to young boys under the age of 18.
Oh.
So they removed him from it, but
Sure.
I think this was before that. But anyway, so this would be Henson's last live television appearance and the last known time he performed Kermit the Frog.
Oh.
So, May 4th, 1990 was the last time Jim Henson's hand was up Kermit's ass. Right.
Okay.
Do you want to hear some critical reception?
Of course.
Okay, so Letterboxd has a 3.51 out of 5. Okay. And I got some Letterboxd reviews for you. And this one's longer, but I think it's just really well put. And based off what they say, and I think this was written like a couple years ago, like 2019. And this was written. So, Creech writes, this honestly feels like one of the most unintentionally sad things I can think of. Especially given the fact that it is one of the very last things Jim Henson works on. He actually died 10 days after this aired, like we talked about. And knowing how big of an impact the Muppets were initially going to have on Disney World. And once Jim passed, almost everything aside from Muppet Vision 3D was canned. This special feels like it promises such a bright future for the Muppets. And especially now in 2019, with Disney owning the property and seemingly not knowing what to do with it, it's especially saddening.
I think it is.
Because again, it's really the end of something, but it was created to signify the beginning of something. Yeah. So I think I was reading that they signed, like, the deal would have been like a 15-year contract with Jim Henson to, like, make stuff for Disney. And I think I'm purely extrapolating, but maybe that would have involved other projects besides Muppet things. So maybe he's like, fine. Like, this was made as the beginning of something, but really it ends up signifying the end of something.
Maybe Disney would get more into puppetry.
That's what I'm saying, but we'll never know. It's a counterfactual.
Ow.
You know?
R.I.P. Jim.
So it's pretty sad. Bram Benderoff cites, Kermit shoots a Nazi. Exclamation point. He's like, I don't believe in violence. Normally I don't advocate for solving conflicts with violence, but in this case...
Are you guys okay? Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. And then Robert Wyatt Duncan writes, see, I have no problem with blatant corporate synergy when it's actually funny. In all caps. Funny in all caps. Right. Viviana.
I love how how Mickey was so 90s with his little like striped t-shirt and his I don't know, break dancer windbreaker thing he was wearing. So 90s.
Also, I love how Kermit knows Mickey because they're both like, we're both animal like stars.
Oh, what is it? It's like the animals.
Like fellow animal stars of America or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Famous animal stars of America.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
He's like, oh yeah, you know him.
We know him from FASA. He's like, hey, Mickey, we've had a little mix-up down here.
It's like, we don't let rodents into the park. Mickey?
He's like, but he's Mickey. That's like where you're like, oh, when someone's being racist, and it's like, what about your black friend? It's like, well, not him.
What about Charles Entertainment Cheese?
Yeah. Notably, the Human Guard guy, he was Nikki Holiday in The Great Muppet Caper.
Yes.
I was like, he looks really familiar.
Yes, the brother. The evil brother.
Everybody and me. When he looks at the camera.
It was so weird.
All right, Viviana. The time has come.
Yes.
Execute order. Rate the movie.
1
to 10.
66.
What are you giving the Muppets?
No, we didn't do our favorite part.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Favorite part.
Cool. My favorite part is rocking around the world.
Rocking the world around, rocking around the world, rocking the world around.
Yeah. With Electric Mayhem.
They're like, we can do a world tour every 30 minutes.
every afternoon and be home in time for dinner.
Be home in time for dinner. That was pretty funny. My favorite part was seeing Miss Piggy on Thunder Mountain and her crashing out.
Disheveled.
Because that recently has become like a GIF on Twitter people use.
Yeah.
About like being like disoriented or something or like. So that part was my favorite because they like replaced her eyes to like be really wide and like pointing in opposite directions. I don't know what it is, but it's just really funny. Okay, now Viviana, 1 to 10, what are you giving the Muppets at Walt Disney World? You did say it was perfect. I don't know if you mean perfect like it's a perfect movie.
I mean like a perfect conception. An immaculate conception, if you will.
My parents said I was a perfect conception.
What?
Ew!
I'm not gonna comment anymore on that.
Wow. This is incredible.
I have no idea.
What do you mean? Would you say this is one of your favorite movies of all time?
Let me do a 7.
Okay.
You know what? Give me a number 7.
Give me number 7 with extra cheese on it.
And I'm gonna put it above Rocky Mountain Holiday with John Denver and the Muppets.
But below the Christmas toy.
But below the Christmas toy.
Okay.
So my top 5 are movies.
Yeah.
But this is a fun little guy.
This is a fun romp.
Yeah.
Okay. I am also going to give this a 7. I thought it was good. It does the job. It does... Because there's so much going on, and I just like seeing Disney World. Especially, like, it's like an archive of what the park was like then.
It's so weird how... It's so amazing to me how there's a lot that is still the same.
That's still the same, yeah. And you're like, I've literally seen that, yeah.
Like, from, like, the 60s, or just, you know, like, even from the 90s or something, just, like decades.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's still somehow a novelty, and, like, people, like, still go, and it's still, like...
Because there's other things that are changing. So
I mean, like, there's some stuff, that has, like, changed, but there's, like, some things that have just, like, been there, right? Like, I didn't know that Star Tours was there, like, in the 90s.
Yeah. Because you were like, oh, Star Wars, the newer Star Wars stuff is newer. But it's the Star Tours, the whole premise is, like, you're going on, like, a vacation.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
You know the one where C-3PO is, like, the one flying the ship?
Yeah,
it used to be a little robot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what? So it wasn't Star Wars. It was just like.
No, it was Star Wars, but it just was like a unique robot.
Oh, okay.
But again, synergy. So they're like, what? Why don't we just have why do we have an original unique robot to this ride?
Mm-hmm.
Watch have C-3PO.
Because I didn't know that they had connections before their big merger and everything.
Kind of like with the Muppets, they had struck a deal to make it. Because
I had only been to Disneyland once when I was 5, so I really was not familiar with the parks, but also Disney World in particular.
Yeah. I think Star Tours opened first in the 80s in Disneyland.
So yeah.
So I'm saying it was a part, and then that was one of the things Michael Eisner did was he was like, we have to make. Because he had, like, a teenage son, and he basically took his son to Disneyland and World and was, like, freaked out because, like, his son, like, was not into anything.
Yeah.
And he was like, we have to have, like, cooler things.
Yeah.
So I think that appeal to, like, teen boys, so that's when you get, like, Star Tours. You get the really scary alien.
Oh.
That's a little bit, remember this really scary alien attraction? Remember I told you about it? Where it was, like, it was so scary, it was basically, like, R-rated.
Maybe. Yeah.
That was, like, that era. The Rock and Roller Coaster was later.
Okay.
But my point is the Star Wars thing has been there since the 80s.
Oh, okay.
I think it may have opened with Hollywood Studios in Florida, but it opened to Disneyland in like their Tomorrowland.
Okay.
Which is in Magic Kingdom in Disney World. Yeah. But in Disneyland, everything's just the one park, at least back then. So they were just
as you can imagine, I spent a lot of time in Toontown.
I was in Toontown. I love Toontown. I love some Toons.
waiting in line to get princess autographs. So, you know, I
Yeah.
wasn't super well versed in the parks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This was me.
The Disney parks are just, like, so fascinating to me of, like, how much has changed, but also how much has not changed.
Yeah.
Like, even just something like Main Street or, you know, whatever, just, like...
Well, it's, like, the perfect balance because things...
Crazy.
There's still a level of nostalgia. It's nostalgia and novelty.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was me doing my rating and ranking, and you commandeered it to talk about Toontown.
Oh.
Yeah, so I said I'm going to give it a 7.
You said a 7,
I said I like to see the old Disney, like seeing almost an archive of it. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like a little snapshot. So I'm going to put this above the Muppets A Celebration of 30 Years, but below A Muppet Family Christmas. Mm-hmm. Just because there's not too much of a story, and it doesn't have Avengers Endgame level crossover. Well, I guess with Mickey, but I'm not a huge Mickey stan, so I'm not like, you know, like obsessed with that. So
I'm surprised they did like a little animation. I thought they might do like a character,
like in a costume,
to kind of fit in with the other costumed characters.
Yeah,
but I guess not.
They didn't. They went, we're not doing that. That's ridiculous. So out of 18 movies, this is your number 6. And it's my number 8. So we have some parity there on that. Yeah, so very interesting. The next one might be a tearjerker, because that's it for this week's episode of Now That's What I Call a Franchise. Next week, we'll be watching the next film in the franchise, the 1990 film, The Muppets Celebrate Jim Henson.
Oh!
Viviana, why are they celebrating? Is it his birthday? I don't know. Viviana, where can they find us?
He's dead!
Where's his puppet? He can't enjoy life without his puppet.
Oh my god. Y'all can find us wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to follow us on social media.
And if you have the time, leave a rating for us on Apple Podcasts, because apparently that helps.
And if you have more time, leave us a review too.
We know you have many podcasting options, and we thank you for choosing us. Peace out, guys.
Later, dude.